If I were the devil, I would not be happy until I've taken the ripest apple on the tree. If I could think of a way to take over the minds and hearts of every person in the United States and abroad, I would do it. First, if I were the devil, I would start with the churches. I would begin with a campaign of whispers, with the wisdom of a serpent. I would whisper to you as he whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of God creating man. If I were the devil, I would convince them that what is bad is good and what is good is bad. To all, I would teach them to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I would get organized to educate writers, producers, news reporters, and magazines. I would train them how to make death, famine, and murder seem exciting so that anything else would appear to be dull and uninteresting. I would overwhelm TV and theater with dirty movies and filthy sex. If I were the devil, I would sell narcotics to whoever I could. I would sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I would tranquilize the rest with prescription pills and medication. If I were the devil, I would soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each entity has consumed itself. And with the promise of higher ratings, I would have mesmerizing media fanning the fuel and the fire. If I were the devil, I would have the schools refine the young, intelligent individuals, but neglect to discipline them with emotions and teach them respect. Let them turn and run wild. And before you know it, we will have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors in every school in America. I would have overwhelming prison systems. I would have the churches brothering pornography. As soon as I remove God from the schools, I would remove it then from the courthouses, and then from Congress. And all the churches would substitute psychology for spirituality. I would lure priests, preachers, and pastors to having sex with little boys and girls, in addition to mishandling church funds. If I were the devil, I would make a symbol of Easter an egg, and the symbol of Christmas a thing. If I were the devil, I would take from those who have and give it to those who want, until I have killed the incentive of the ambitious ones. Then I will get whole states to promote gambling as a way to get rich. If I were the devil, I would caution anyone against extreme and hard work, against patriotism and moral conduct, against common sense. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun. And I would teach them that what you see on TV is the way to be. I would then undress the ladies in public and lure you into bed and give you diseases for which there are no cures. Oh yes. And for you special race of people, if I were the devil, I would enslave you and your seed for the next 300 years in the name of God. I would use fear, greed, distrust, envy, strife, jealousy to help me do this. I would turn old black males against young black males, and young black males against the old. I would then turn light-skinned black males against dark-skinned black males. And yes, I would use and turn the females against the male and the male against the female. I would teach them to distrust each other and to trust me alone. It is necessary for all people to depend on me. In other words, if I were the devil, I would just keep on doing what I'm doing. Who am I?